Good morning, traders. Welcome to this week's cryptocurrency market analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. I think the biggest question in everybody's mind is whether the cryptocurrencies are ready for a bounce. Are they ready for a bounce? That's what we're going to be looking at in this week's crypto market analysis webinar. Let's have a look here. Before we start, check out our contact details under the description of all our videos. You'll also see that we're posting up chart of the days as well. So these videos you can watch out on our channel. Now, for the contact details, look at them under the description of all our videos. You'll find a contact details there, the number that you can use for either WhatsApp or Telegram. You can follow us on Trading View, and you can also check out our website. That's where you'll get more information. For our posts and updates, we post them on our social media pages and as well as on Twitter. So some charts update and before and after charts, we post them up on our social media pages. If you want more than just those updates, you can check out our website and look for more details on our offers. If you look at that, we've got our next course on the 5th of July. So our next 10-day course is going to be on the 5th of July. So how that works is as soon as you make a purchase for your course, you're going to get a fully recorded course, and you will watch that prior to the live one. So that means when we do the live course, you would have already watched the whole thing. You'd just be asking questions and getting clarity on some of the models you may not have been completely sure of. Right, so that is our website. We prefer that you contact us via this global chat. That is where you'll get the quickest response. Check us out on that global chat. Let's get started with the market analysis webinar. Let's start with, obviously, Bitcoin is the biggest one. So I'm going to look at the top 4, that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple. And then we'll look at some of the comparisons between some of the altcoins with Bitcoins to see which one is a better cryptocurrency to be looking at. Right, so let's start with Bitcoin, and let's look at the chart for our members here. Let's look at the cryptocurrencies. Right, so before the crash, I've shown this one last week. The crash, I use the word crash very carefully because I don't really call it a crash because that's how the market is supposed to play out. Right, so this was Bitcoin. This was what we expected to happen when we were in this corrective structure. We were expecting this to be a correction and for this to push to the upside on May the 19th when we had the move right down to about 39. We've now traded lower than the 27,000 on Bitcoin. Are we ready for a move to the upside? Now, let's have a look at the current structure on Bitcoin in the lower degree. Now, this is that pullback that you've seen in 3 waves. So what did we say last week? We said we are going to have a bit of a pullback like that, so we can see one more move to the downside. So let's have a look at this structure now. How is this playing out? So if we look at this structure, it looks like for the next week, we are still going to go sideways. So what we have now is a move to the upside. Let's have a look at this. Why am I saying sideways? What we have now is a move to the upside. We've got 3 waves down. We've got another 3 waves. That looks like another 3 waves, which is going to tag here. Then we're going to see this one come up to around these levels. So we're going to see this one come down here as follows. That means we've got this here in this degree here. So then we'll complete the 1, 2. Let's show this with the purple. 1, 2. And the 3. I should have shown that in purple. This is not the red degree. It should actually be the purple degree as follows. The purple is as follows, 1, 2, 3. Now for this structure to complete, we'll need to see another upside, then downside, then we're gonna start seeing a bit of a bounce to the upside. Okay, so this is what we're looking at. All the cryptocurrencies have got this structure that is currently playing out on Bitcoin. Now, the question is, will this now break out of this structure? And we're going to go and retest this in the next coming sessions. It's very likely. Before we go through the rest, I want to look at ADA because ADA has already played out that move. So the rest of the altcoins as well as Bitcoin should potentially do the same move. As you can see here on ADA, one of my favorite coins, we'll be looking for this to come around these levels. Now with ADA, you'll see that it is almost back at the level before the so-called crash. But what we have here on ADA was basically a 3-wave pullback as follows. This was a 3-wave pullback. If you remember, we had a number of setups just before they move to the downside, which we exited right at the top here. Now we're expecting that we're going to have a pullback, not so much though. We expected that that was just going to correct the whole move to about 50%. We have spiked down to around these levels, but that does not change our view. We are still looking at this. We have that one coming down up here like that. So we're currently looking at this to be going sideways. Let's have a look at this structure. Let's look at this current move that is happening here. So we've got this one bouncing back up here. We've started with a move to the downside here. We've got a move to the upside here. What are we expecting? We're expecting that we're going to come retest that level. Just like Bitcoin, you'll see that this will be a complex correction. We'll have this something like this. A move to the upside, move to the upside after that, possibly like that, and then we go to the upside. So that means we're still going to be sideways for a while before we retest the previous highs that we've seen before this so-called crash. What structure will this have made? This would have made an ABC corrective structure. Unfortunately, as you can see, all of them, they're not showing really trending moves. They're showing corrective moves sideways. So you have to wait for this before we actually get the trade to the upside. Those that invest for the long term, this is where we're going to be looking for another leg to the upside when this corrective structure is done. Unfortunately, the only thing that we do not do is the time study as to how long that will take. All we're looking at is how price is playing out and when that confirms for another leg to the upside. This is ADA. Now, for the rest of the cryptocurrencies, let's have a look at Ethereum. Let's have a look at how we look what we have on Ethereum on the 1 hour. So Ethereum, this is how we have it now. It has now done this structure. This, as you can see, this was the forecast for this week for our members. We are looking for this one to do this structure 1, 2, 3. Now, if this is all the move and this is all the correction, we're going to start a move to the upside. But first, we're going to target the 50% because at around the 50%, this could be making a simple 3 waves. Okay, which would then take us to the upside first before that. So let's take it one wave at a time. What we know for sure, we know that we've got a corrective structure here, and the Ethereum is going to give us this bounce. Let's have a look at Ethereum now. Exactly as forecasted, we've got that 3-wave pullback, and now we're looking for upside. Let's have a look at it. So the 3-wave pullback that was forecasted is this one here. So let's have a look at how this bounces to the upside. We want to see this break higher. If you've already seen ADA, Cardano has already broken out of this structure and looking to retest the recent high there. That is Ethereum. Let's have a look at Litecoin. So Litecoin, this is also the structure that we expected. We've got a pullback here in 3 waves. Now we're taking it one wave at a time. Whether this is a 3-wave ABC doesn't really matter. What matters, what is important is that the next immediate structure, because we've got enough data to determine that, we'll be looking for that. So that's why you see Litecoin is now making that move to the upside as follows. So let's have a look at Litecoin. So that is Litecoin, also made a 3-wave pullback on the 1 hour. As expected. Now, are we going to make a move to the upside? That is the expectation on all of them. Let's go to Ripple as well. Looking at Ripple, we expected the same thing. They're all playing the same structure. We expected this, and now Ripple is doing the same structure as well. Let's have a look at that. We're taking it one wave at a time. We post and update these charts for members every single day. Right, so that is every single day before the London session, all these charts are updated, all the 1 hour charts are updated, and all the rest of the time frames at the end of each week. So we're looking for this on Ripple. Possibly get back to around 1. So we're looking for that. If it's going to be a move to the upside, then that's fine. But what we're looking at is where the market is going from current levels. That is Ripple, and that is the top 4. Doge, one of my favorites, same thing, it has made this pullback. So let's just have a look at the bigger structure on Doge and what we expected before these current moves. So on the 1 hour, Doge, we expected that it was going to make this move to the downside. This was the so-called crash, but we had focused that it was going to give us a 3-wave structure. Just didn't expect that it was going to drop so much, but that's fine. Now we're currently here. We've made a move to the upside. We're looking like we're going to make this structure here. So we may get this one coming down here after the move. Then we'll look for upside on Doge. All right, so we are still going sideways. That is Doge. Binance. Binance also the same structure. As you can see, they're all doing the same thing. So we're going to be looking just to retest the recent highs, not necessarily a complete pullback. So we're getting that pullback, and then we're looking for upside here on Binance. Same thing you will find on the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Okay, so this is now Monero, slightly different structure there. So this one is making what looks like a three-wave structure, has made a move to the downside. So this we would have expected it to play out as follows, and then play out this bigger corrective structure as follows. But let's see how this plays out. With the rest of the altcoins pushing up higher, we may see this one make a structure like this, 1, 2, 3 as follows. Okay, so that is Monero, not so clear. Dash, same. Difference is that this one is making what looks like it was almost a flat, but it's still a zigzag. We'll be looking for Monero to make a move to around those levels. Now let's have a look at some of the ratios between some of these currencies, between the altcoins and Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash, if you were to get a setup for upside or a buy setup, or to invest some more on a currency, you look at these ratios. For example, Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. So if you look at this, this is a setup for more upside on Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. So that means if you wanted to buy, a better option would be Bitcoin Cash. Now, if you look at Bitcoin Cash versus US dollar, you will see that it's got a similar structure. Now, you do not want to be buying on Bitcoin. You want to be buying this one because it's going to perform better than Bitcoin as far as the ratio is concerned. So that is what the ratios are for, to tell you what the structures are. So I've got a couple of ratios of Bitcoin against some of the altcoins here. So for example, I've got Ripple versus BTC. Now you'll see that also Ripple is even better. Most of the altcoins are better than BTC for a change, because for the longest time, Bitcoin has been performing better than all these altcoins. Now they're now in the picture, and they're a serious competition for performance. Now you'll see that is XRP. Now we're looking for more upside. Doge versus Bitcoin. As we look at Doge versus Bitcoin, it's not really showing us anything, but structurally, what we're seeing here is that Doge is gonna push to the upside. This is the ratio now between Doge and Bitcoin. We're going to see this, even if this is still sideways. So this is not complete as yet, because eventually this structure can play out as follows: 1, 2, we get a complex one here, 3, and then upside. But eventually we should see Doge outperforming Bitcoin. All right. So that is what we're looking at. Somebody is saying something here, but it's a very long text there, so I don't have time to read that as yet. For now, we'll check that at the end of the webinar. All right. Somebody's got a question: support and resistance. I have noticed you never draw support and resistance and horizontal lines. That is absolutely correct. We don't look at support or resistance. We look at the waves. And for the levels, we look at Fibonacci levels. So there is no support or resistance that we use. We use channelings. Even their channels are not for us for trading, are just for us to look at the end of the structures. What we look at is the sequence as well as the cycles, and most importantly, the indicator that tells us the next immediate move and the entries, as well as where to exit, just to answer that question, the first part of the question. Right, so that is Bitcoin against the rest of the cryptocurrencies. Last one, ADA versus Bitcoin. You can see ADA is performing very well. As you've seen, ADA versus US dollar has already made a move to the upside. And this is telling you that ADA, if you were buying here, that looks like a buy setup on Bitcoin. So we're expecting that Bitcoin will do the same structure. But if you were looking for a buy, you would have preferred to buy ADA. But in this case, ADA is already gone and has already retested this high, and we're expecting it to even get to around these levels. The previous highs, if you look at ADA, we're actually back at the levels that we were just before the cryptocurrencies dropped. Okay. All right, so that's all I have for you this week, guys. I'm not going to go through the rest of the altcoins, as you'll see that the structures are all similar. Check out our chart of the week, which will be updated in the next couple of hours on our website. Sign up on the website so you can get some of our emails with trade setups. Have a great week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what we do. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.